Womp womp womp.
Hi guys, and thanks for watching my review in progress of The Witcher 3. I have spent roughly 77 hours in The Witcher 3 so far, and considering this game, if you do everything, is supposed to last around 200 hours, I'm not even halfway through yet. And I really wanted to spend as long as I possibly could with the game before giving it a proper review. So after a paltry 77 hours, this is only my review in progress. So one thing I should state first is I am a sucker for open world games. I spent a lot of my life in Skyrim, Fallout. Actually, Dragon Age Inquisition was my game of the year last year. So The Witcher 3 was already pretty certain to go down well in my books. And so far it has. This game is so much fun. The one thing that stands out for me above everything else at the moment is the story and the character development. I'm really enjoying the main quest line. It's really got me intrigued and I want to see where that's going. But it's just the little quests as well, the side quests, and the almost every other aspect of the game has a story element to it. There is some depth there, there's intrigue as to what's going on in this world. The world feels lived in. It's just fantastically well done. And all of the characters are so well voiced. It just really helps to immerse you in this world. There's also so much depth to the character customization. Obviously, everybody loves loot, and there is a ton of it in this game, so you are constantly upgrading your character, changing his appearance, changing his abilities, and I never felt like the game was being stingy with XP. I always feel like the pacing in terms of, your character progression was really, really good. And the way I've kind of been playing it so far, because I want to see everything obviously, is I've been trying to make sure I do as many of the side quests and treasure hunts and Witcher contracts and things like that as possible, and not just, blitzing the main storyline, because I don't want the game to be over before it's begun. So before continuing with the main storyline, I've been trying to make sure that I am doing the lowest level quests I have available first, before anything else. So that I've never reached a point where I come back to a quest and it's been so low level that it's not even been worth the time. So I'm really trying to make sure I do everything. And that's not even counting the question marks or undiscovered places on the map, which you just come across as you're kind of travelling around. And those can be as interesting as any of the side quests or main story. And it's also been really interesting to see how decisions you make in certain quests all come back and have some kind of consequence, some kind of ramification in the world. And I won't go into any specifics just in case I spoil anything, but there have been some decisions I've made somewhere down the line which hours later have come back and had some kind of impact. And that's so satisfying to see that your input into the world really does have an effect. And it's safe to say that the game does look incredible as well. It doesn't look quite as good as the original E3 gameplay that we saw. And I know the developers have said there hasn't been a downgrade, but it doesn't look as good. So something's happened there. They've, had to optimize it slightly more. Whether that was because, they had to keep the graphics on a level playing field across consoles and PC, I don't know. But to be honest, the game still looks really good, and if it looked any better, it probably wouldn't run on my PC, so I probably shouldn't complain. Or maybe I should buy a new PC, there's always that. And gameplay-wise, the swordplay maybe isn't quite as tactical or thought out as the developers claim it to be, but I think it hugely depends on your playing style. If you're just going to hack, and hack, I mean, you can do that to a certain extent, and if that's the way you play it, maybe you're not going to get a great amount of satisfaction out of it. But the way I've been going about it is, I've gone light. I've gone light with my armor and light with my attacks. So rather than hacking away at enemies, I am adopting more of a kind of, a dodge block attack kind of mentality. And you do have to change that up a little between attacking humans and attacking monsters, because monsters have very different attack patterns and abilities than your, human enemies. So you do have to change it up and, pick up on certain enemies, attack patterns and traits. And then when you combine that with your signs, which are your magical abilities, things do become a lot more interesting. And especially with some of the kind of the Witcher contracts with monster hunts in the game. I found, maybe not so much now because I'm a lot higher level than I was when I began, but when I began, I was having to really, really kind of make sure I had everything I needed for the particular monster I was going to fight. So I had to look through the bestiary, I had to find out what its weaknesses were, I had to go collect ingredients for oils that I could apply to my swords, so that I would deal more damage to the monster. And those things definitely make a difference, and they made it a lot easier. I did try and kill a number of monsters with no preparation whatsoever, and it was a lot harder, and I ended up having to go away and actually do that prep. Which, you know, some people might find frustrating, because they'd rather just, you know, turn up, kill, go on to the next thing. But I feel like in a game with this much depth, and a game of this size, to have that kind of depth, not just to the story, or, you know, the loot, or, you know, the world itself, but to have that kind of depth within combat, and within hunting, is really impressive. And that's something that I've also really enjoyed. Because I never usually get into things like alchemy and potion brewing in other games, but in this game, I really have. And to be honest, that's been one of my main goals in the game, is to make sure I've got every potion and brew everything, so that I am, you know, fully decked out, no matter what I meet in the world. So obviously, 77 hours in, I'm barely halfway through the game. So you never know, my opinions may change drastically by the time I actually finish, but something tells me they might not. And I'm going to be playing it for another 130 hours. So that is my review in progress of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully you won't have to wait too long for my full review. Stay tuned.
To slay beasts most foul, 'twas for this I was made. I kill as my calling, not just to get paid.
Hi guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, remember to like, comment and subscribe. All that stuff really does help me out, and I'll hopefully see you next time on the Mews.